You are sitting in a perfectly quiet room. The door is locked. The phone is silent. The world outside has stopped moving. You are safe. So why does it feel like you are running for your life? Why is your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird? Why is your mind replaying a conversation from 3 years ago, dissecting every syllable, searching for a hidden insult that isn't there? You are exhausted, yet you haven't moved a muscle in hours. You are paralyzed, yet your brain is sprinting at 1,000 miles an hour. You call this overthinking. You call it anxiety. You call it a bad habit. You tell yourself you just need to calm down or think positive. But you are wrong. This is not a personality flaw. This is not a lack of discipline. This is a biological glitch. You are the victim of a specific neural circuit that has hijacked your consciousness. It is a metabolic leak that is draining your life force, drop by drop, while you sit in that chair. To stop the noise, we have to stop treating the mind like a mystical spirit and start treating it like a machine. We need to open the hood and look at the engine. We need to talk about the default mode network. In the early days of neuroscience, researchers made a strange assumption. They believed that when you stopped doing a task, when you stopped reading, stopped calculating, stopped working, your brain went quiet. They thought the engine turned off. But when they put people into fMRI scanners and told them to do nothing, they saw something terrifying. The brain didn't shut down, it lit up. A massive interconnected network of brain regions roared to life. The medial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate cortex, the angular gyrus. They started firing in perfect synchronization. They called this the default mode network, or the DMN. It is your brain's screensaver. It is the autopilot that engages the moment you lose focus on the external world. And it has one primary function: time travel. The DMN is designed to detach you from the present moment. It scans the past for mistakes to learn from. This is rumination. It scans the future for threats to avoid. This is anxiety. Evolutionarily, this was a masterpiece. It allowed our ancestors to sit by the fire and simulate a lion attack before it happened. It allowed them to analyze a social conflict to ensure they wouldn't be exiled from the tribe. It was a survival tool. But in the modern world, the lions are gone. The threats are abstract. An unread email, a vague text message, a glance from a stranger. The DMN cannot distinguish between a predator and a social awkwardness. So it runs the same simulation. Over and over again, it traps you in a loop of what if, and if only. You are not thinking. You are being thought. You are not the driver. You are the passenger in a car that is careening off a cliff. And this simulation comes with a heavy price tag. The human brain represents only 2% of your body weight, but it consumes 20% of your total metabolic energy. It is the most expensive organ you own. When the DMN is active, it burns through your glucose reserves like a furnace. This is why you feel physically shattered after a day of worrying. You haven't run a marathon, you haven't lifted a weight, but your brain has been running simulations of catastrophe for 8 hours straight. You are suffering from neural fatigue. You are literally burning out your engine while the car is in park. And the tragedy is, most people try to fix this by using the very tool that is causing the problem. They try to think their way out of overthinking. They try to use logic to silence the noise. I shouldn't worry about this, you say to yourself. I just need to be positive. But this is a trap. By engaging with the thoughts, by arguing with the inner voice, you are feeding the DMN. You are giving it more data to process. You are adding fuel to the fire. You cannot solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. You cannot use the DMN to turn off the DMN. So, how do we break the loop? How do we pull the plug on the machine? We have to look at the architecture of the brain again. There is another network, the rival of the DMN. It is called the Task Positive Network, or the TPN. This is the network that lights up when you are deeply engaged in a task. when you are solving a complex math problem, when you are sprinting, when you are playing an instrument, when you are in the zone. Here is the critical discovery. These two networks are anti-correlated. Think of a seesaw. When the DMN goes up, the TPN goes down. But, and this is the key, when the TPN goes up, the DMN must go down. They cannot both be active at the same time. This is the biological kill switch for overthinking. You do not stop overthinking by trying to relax. Relaxation is the playground of the DMN. If you sit on a meditation cushion and try to clear your mind without training, the DMN will eat you alive. You stop overthinking by activating the TPN. You must force the brain to process external data so intensely that it has no energy left for internal simulation. This explains the famous Harvard study by psychologists Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert. They collected data from thousands of people and found a startling correlation. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. People were happiest, not when they were relaxing, but when they were focused. When they were doing something difficult, the content of the thought didn't matter. The direction of the attention mattered. Internal attention breeds misery. External attention breeds peace. So, we need a protocol. We need a way to manually override the system when the glitch starts. I call this the sensory pivot. When you feel the DMN taking over, when the loop starts spinning, do not argue with it. Do not try to rationalize the fear. Instead, immediately shift your attention to high-intensity sensory data. The DMN thrives in the abstract. It dies in the concrete. It cannot exist in the now because the now requires the TPN. You can use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, but make it visceral. Don't just look at a wall. Look at the texture of the paint. Count the cracks. Don't just listen to the room. Isolate the sound of the air conditioner, the traffic outside, the hum of the computer. Force your brain to process raw data. But for the chronic overthinker, simple observation might not be enough. You need high cognitive load. You need a task that is just difficult enough to demand 100% of your attention. This is why high performers are often obsessed with extreme sports, or chess, or coding. It is not just about the thrill. It is about the silence. When you are climbing a rock face, you cannot worry about your email. If you drift into the DMN, you fall. The danger forces the TPN to take the wheel. You don't need to climb a mountain, but you do need to shock the system. Take a cold shower. The thermal shock forces your brain to focus on immediate survival data. The DMN vanishes instantly. Do a complex puzzle. Learn a new language. Write with your non-dominant hand. Do anything that breaks the automaticity of your life. Overthinking thrives in the familiar. It thrives in the routine. When you are walking the same path, washing the dishes, driving the same route, your brain goes on autopilot. And autopilot is where the ghosts live. You must introduce friction. You must make the world difficult again, just for a moment, because difficulty demands presence, and presence is the only cure. We must also address the philosophical root of the glitch. Why is the DMN so loud in the first place? It is often because we are refusing to accept reality. We overthink because we believe that if we spin the scenario enough times, we can control the outcome. We believe that worry is a form of work. We think, if I worry about this enough, I will be prepared. This is the illusion of control. But the future is not a problem to be solved in your head. It is a reality to be met with your hands. The simulations are fake. The pain they cause is real. You are suffering for things that have not happened and likely never will. Seneca said it best. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. He was describing the default mode network 2,000 years before we had a name for it. You must realize that your thoughts are not facts. They are electrical impulses. They are secretions of a nervous system that is trying to protect you from a tiger that isn't there. You do not have to believe them. You do not even have to listen to them. You just have to switch the channel. The next time you find yourself trapped in the chair, staring at the wall, drowning in the noise, stand up, move, engage with the physical world, touch something, read something, build something. Deny the DMN the energy it needs to run the simulation. Starve the glitch. Feed the reality. Your life is not happening inside your head. It is happening out here. Come back to it. Class dismissed.